In this video, we're going to be looking at pages 59 and 60 in your Jump Math book. So if you want to get your Jump Math book and get ready, we'll get started. Okay, so let's take a look at question number 1. The focus of these lessons is to look at how the same shape can be divided in different ways. So you can make a fraction of a shape within a shape in many different ways. So let's take a look at question 1a as an example. I'm going to outline for you that this shape is the same as this shape. So because those two shapes are the same, or these two shapes are the same, and yet we can make fractions in different ways. In one way, you can draw a line straight down the middle, and now you've created two equal parts. Using the same shape, you can draw a line right from corner to corner. Now the fractions may look different, but they are the same. Okay, so they look different. In this one, it looks like we've created two rectangles. In this one, we've created two triangles. So yes, the fractions look different, and yet they are both the same fraction. What is the fraction for this shape? If you guessed 1/2, you were correct, because one part has been shaded out of two equal parts. The numerator on top tells us how many have been shaded or how many parts we're counting, and the number on the bottom is the denominator. It tells us how many equal parts. If this was 1/2, if I shade one of these sides as well, what is the fraction for that? If you said 1/2, you are correct, because the instruction says to shade 1/2 of the shape in two different ways. Well, in this one, it looks like a rectangle, and it's 1/2. In this one, it looks like a triangle, but it is also 1/2. Okay, you're going to be doing that for different shapes. In this shape here, you'll notice that it's not a square, but it's a rectangle. But has each rectangle been divided the same way? If you said no, you're correct. You'll notice in this rectangle, it's been created, two equal parts have been created by putting a line right down the middle. In this rectangle, the same shape, it's been created by putting a line right down the middle this way, okay, this way instead of down. So your job is going to be to shade 1/2 of this shape and shade 1/2 of this shape so that each of it represents 1/2. Same with this one. You'll notice it's a rhombus, and this is a rhombus, but it's been divided in two different ways. Do you remember the name of this shape? We worked on it yesterday in our last video. It has, let's get a different marker here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. This one also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And you'll remember from yesterday, a shape with 6 sides is a hexagon. Now this hexagon has been divided in two ways. I want you to take note. Do you see that in between this vertex and this vertex was a straight side? They started the line right through the straight side, okay? In this one, they went vertex to vertex. So they divided the hexagon two different ways, okay? This one is in the middle of two vertices and the line was drawn. And in this one, a line was drawn between connecting two vertices, okay? Same shape, same fraction, 1/2, but the fractions look different, okay? It's still 1/2 of the shape though. So you'll do these ones as well, okay? So for question number 2, it says write yes or no to answer the question for each part in question 1. The first one says, are the fractions the same? Are they the same? Are the fractions the same? And the letter B says, you're going to write yes or no. For letter B, it says, do the equal parts look the same? Does this part look the same as this part? You're going to answer yes or no. All right, so that's the job for questions 1 and 2. For question 3, it says shade 1/4 of the shape in a different way. Well, look at this. Here's a square, here is a square, and here is a square. There's 4 squares. But isn't it interesting that you can create 1/4, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts in this many different ways. You are going to shade 1/4 in each of these shapes. Now remember, when you're shading 1/4, it looks like this. 1/4 is the same as saying 1/4, 1/4. So the 4 represents the 4 equal parts. The one on top represents the one part that will be shaded. So you're going to create 1/4 here, 1/4 here, and 1/4 here. The fraction, all the same. However, do these parts all look the same? No, they don't. But they are all equal. They are all 1/4 of that shape. Okay? Now take a look at letter B. Again, you have the same shape. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-sided shape. Do you know the name of an 8-sided shape from grade 2 geometry? If you said octagon, you are correct. So this octagon has been divided into 4 different ways. Take a look. So first of all, do you see between the 2 vertices, they started here, went across, and between the 2 vertices, they drew a line down. That's one way to divide an octagon into 4 equal parts. Another way to divide an octagon is to go from vertex to vertex, vertex to vertex. So again, you create 4 equal parts, but are the shapes the same? They don't look the same, but they are all 1/4. Okay? So you're going to do the same thing you did here. Write yes or no to answer the question for each part in question 3. Are the fractions the same? Answer yes or no. Do the equal parts look the same? Does this look the same as this? Does this, and this look the same? You have to answer yes or no. So that's the first page of equal parts of shapes, page 59. Now taking a look at the next page, it says to add a line to the picture to make 4 equal parts. Well, this is interesting. Currently, there's only 2 equal parts. Where would you draw a line on this circle to make sure that you have 4 equal parts? You have to decide. Be very careful because you want to make sure that every part you create is the exact same size. So you want to create 4 equal parts. In this one, obviously this part is not the same as these parts. You have to add 1 line to this box and use this as a guide. You're going to add 1 line in here to make 4 equal parts. Now the bonus is very interesting. Currently we have 2 parts that are the same, and then this big backwards looking F. You can draw 1 little line on this bigger part to create 4 equal parts. If you can't figure it out the first time, try a few different ways to add a short line to make all the parts look like these L's. Okay, keep in mind the parts may look like upside down L's when you do it. Okay, for number 6, you're going to add a line to the picture to make 6 equal parts. Currently, there's 1, 2, 3 equal parts in 6A. You're going to add just 1 line right to that shape to make 6 equal parts. Same with this one. Currently, there's 3 equal parts. You have to draw 1. It says add a line, 1 line. Add a line to this one to make 6 equal parts. Now this one's really fun. It's a hexagon that seems to have been divided into rhombuses, and then the rhombuses were divided up, but only 2 of them were. You have to add 1 line to this rhombus here, and you're going to decide where to make sure all the parts are equal. And finally, take a look at this hexagon. You have to add 1 long line to this shape to make all the parts equal. Okay, once you've done that, go on to number 7. June must shade in 1/5 of the big square. Is his answer correct? Yes or no? And then I want you to explain your answer. Now the bonus is good. It gives you 2 rectangles. You have to show 2 different ways to divide a rectangle into 8 equal rectangles. So you decide how you can show it 8 equal rectangles in 1 rectangle, or 8 equal parts in 1 rectangle, and 8 equal parts in the next rectangle. Okay? So that's your lesson for today on equal parts of shapes, remembering that You may have the same shape, but it can be divided into fractions in different ways so that the fraction may be the same, but the parts may look different. Okay, that's your lesson for today. It'll be due by the end of the day. Thanks. Bye for now.